Hi guys, welcome back to another wonderful tutorial. And in this tutorial, I know you are looking at this Agbada. Yes, it's all bead. You can see the neckline fully beaded. Everything is looking so luxurious. Okay, so for the essence of this tutorial, I will be beading the cap of this Agbada and taking you through the whole journey of the different techniques I use to achieve what you can see on this Agbada, giving luxury. Okay, so from this plain cap, I transformed it to this. Just take a look. Absolutely gorgeous. Like, share, and subscribe as I take you through the new art of beading. Broken bead for the main pattern of the cap. Thread, of course, and needle. I did a needle test in here to ensure that my beads can pass through successfully. The essence of this is to make sure that your needle is not too big for the different sizes of the broken bead that you have. I suggest size 11 needle which pass through all beads. Although it might be quite difficult to thread, to do that you need to beat the tip of your thread in order to pass through your needle successfully. Basically for this cap, I'll be tracing out all the embroidery pattern that was made on this cap and bead it all. So the first thing you need to do is to pick a number of beads and pass it through your fabric, that is your cap, without going through the lining. We want a very clean finish at the back of your cap as well. So you need to pick two beads. I'm using three beads for the essence of this tutorial. I use three beads, pick three beads and pass it through to where it's supposed to end. Okay, the thing is, if you have an embroidery pattern just like this that you want to do and you notice that three beads will be too small and you can say that four beads will be okay, use four beads. If five beads will be okay, use five beads. If two beads will be okay, use two beads. So the essence of this is just to measure up the part you want to bead and calculate the amount of bead that will actually occupy that space. You notice that I kept moving the thread out of the way of the beading. That is to ensure that my beading does not get entangled with the thread while beading. And while you do so, you need to double check your lining to ensure that you are not picking your lining as well. For curved angles, you need to space out the beading on the most curved area of that angle. You space it out while beading and make sure that the upper part is enclosed, if that makes sense. And while you bead, you continue to space out until you get a consistent level of beading along the other side of the bead. Never took the light, so I had to resort to using torchlight for the meantime. So I tagged the little thread I have left, to secure everything in place and start a new beading. So the next beading I did was rose petals, like forming roses shapes with the embroidery pattern I have on this cap using my beads. To do that, I picked two beads and stitched to the center of that rose pattern. After doing that, I started picking beads in one and twos and moving in circular motion around that initial two beads just to form my rose pattern. Forming a rose design is not limited to this. There are various ways in which you can bead a rose. So if you would like to see a tutorial on the different ways to achieve rose pattern, let me know so I can do a tutorial on the techniques involved in rose beading. So I finished up the first step of this beading, and what is left is just to continuously replicate the first thing I did all over and over again as you see me doing. So I started another pattern that looks similar to the first pattern I did, and I just continue to fill up like I did for the first until one, everything is completely beaded. Okay, so this is what I've gotten to do, and I'm almost done with the down part. The next thing is to just finish up the rest of that down part and move to the other part of this beading. I was flexing a little bit here, checking out what I did, and I absolutely love it. So, moving on, our normal threading and passing through your needle and continuous beading, continuous beading over and over again. That is one thing I found so time consuming. My needle got broken, like you see, and I was not happy with it at all because I had to tie a knot where I stopped and retread my needle. It's one thing I absolutely don't like while beading, and I try as much as possible to avoid that. And it really does. I don't know what happened today, so my needle got broken. So I threaded the needle again, tied a knot, and start all over. You get from where I stopped. Yes, it's day two, and this cap is progressing in a very, very good way. As you can see, I finished the down part, moved to the upper part, and about to complete the upper part as well. This is more of repetition from the first thing I did first. I just kept replicating the first step over and over again, and that's it. The only difference I noticed with the upper part is that I, instead of picking three beads, I actually picked about four beads to cover up each pattern of the embroidery because it is more wider than the down part. So after beading a particular part and you notice that that area is bulging than laying flat as it should be, all you have to do is pick that excess one or two bead that is causing confusion and cut it out with scissors, ensuring that you are not cutting out your thread. Okay, so now I have to use my torchlight again for a while, Nepa Wahala. After doing that and passing through that phase successfully, I encountered another challenge which took me a while before I solved it, and that is threading needles. Size 11 is the smallest needle that can pass through any of your bead, but the challenge with it is it can take you a while before you thread your needle. Okay, I passed through that phase again, thank God. And now look at my cap. It's giving already. Okay, I look at the inside, looking all clean. Of course, we want clean finish. Clean finish is the goal. Okay, moving on to the part two of this. Yeah, before I forget and before you forget, hope you've subscribed to my channel because that will help my channel in the long run to grow. And let me know in the comment section the kind of content you would really like to see in my coming up videos. And also, please share, please like, and engage. Moving on. I did a slanting beading technique on the edges of the cap as you see me doing, and that involved picking about three beads and slanting it. I'm not beading straight because that would take about two beads, but just to give a slant effect, I pick about three beads and slant it just like you would slant normal slant you get. So I did that as you can see, and that was done on the edges of the embroidery. Do you know you can even pass your needle backwards through your fabric if you don't like the point where you inserted it? That is absolutely fine. And that you can do as well, and which I did here because I didn't like the point I inserted the needle. I love working with seed beads because it is easier to work with and it is also smaller than broken bead. Fun fact. Okay, so I use that seed bead to trace the edges of the already beaded pattern. To do that, I picked about two beads or three beads and measure up where it's supposed to end. I pass the needle backwards to the last one or two beads and pass it to the forward as well to continue the beading process. I have a bidding tutorial where I shared various techniques in which you can use to bid a dress. This technique I'm using right here is also included in that video. So click on the link above to check the various techniques I used in bidding that dress as well. I'm sure you don't want to miss out on that. I also traced out the rose pattern of this cap. I traced out the edges as well in circular form with seed beads. Feel free to use any design you think will be suitable for whatever design or whatever fabric or whatever outfit you are doing, either a dress, a skirt, a top, a cap, whatever you are bidding. Just be creative and try various things and various techniques. Click on the link above to check other techniques that I used while bidding a dress. So you need to take into consideration the fact that if you don't tie your knot properly while beading, it has a tendency to get unraveled. It has tendency to loosen out and you lost bead in between. Like you see me doing here, I already lost some beads because I didn't tie that part properly. So I had to tie a knot again to just connect both ends together with bead. Do you get? So while doing that, I tied a knot and add beads in between that space that is necessary to be filled up and continue the beading by inserting my needle through the other beads that were already beaded and tie a knot again just to secure everything in place. If you would agree with me, we are done. We are done with this beautiful piece, and I went to set it all in place with my iron. Remember to iron through your lining and not directly on your bead. And look at it, gorgeous. Just to top it up, I highlighted this cap with more beading in between, just with the seed bead techniques that I showed you earlier on. I was not able to capture it on camera because of time frame. With these techniques, you can now bead an Agbada. But remember to always pick the right amount of bead that will occupy a particular space you are beading in order to prevent it from bulging out if it is too much or spacing out if it is not enough. Thank you for watching up to this point. I hope you got a lot of value from watching this video. See you in my next one. Bye.